My wife said at the party, back off. When I went to hug her as everyone watched, by morning. My wife pushed me away so hard that night, a public humiliation that nearly shattered my drink. But it wasn't the rejection that broke me, it was the chilling realization that my entire marriage had been a carefully orchestrated lie. We were at a corporate party in Phoenix, the air thick with forced cheer and cheap champagne. I'd reached out to hug Chloe, my wife of 12 years, when she recoiled as if burned. Don't touch me, she snapped, loud enough for everyone to hear. The room went silent, that suffocating kind of silence where you can practically hear people holding their breath. I stood there, hands still half raised, frozen in what felt like an eternity, while Chloe just turned back to her conversation circle, as if nothing had happened. The true gut punch wasn't her rejection, but the utter lack of surprise on anyone else's face. People quickly looked away, some suddenly engrossed in their phones. One guy, someone I barely knew, gave me a look of pity that made my stomach churn. That's when I saw Liam Miller standing beside Chloe, closer than any coworker should be, his hand casually resting on the small of her back. Liam, a senior analyst in her department, seemed to be at every company event Chloe attended. I'd met him a few times, always the same polite smile and firm handshake. The kind of man who seems perfectly harmless until you realize he's been playing chess while you're still figuring out the rules. He just stood there, calm, almost bored, like he was watching a movie he'd already seen. Chloe was wearing the navy dress I'd complimented that morning, the one with silver details she said made her feel confident. She'd spent an hour getting ready, which wasn't unusual, but now every detail replayed in my mind with a sick, new clarity. She hadn't asked me how I looked, barely spoke in the car, and drifted straight to Liam's group the moment we walked in. I'd told myself she was networking, being professional. But standing there, my drink getting warm in my hand, everyone pretending they hadn't just witnessed my humiliation, I felt like the biggest fool in the room. A few minutes later, Grace, Chloe's sister, appeared at my elbow. Hey, you okay? She asked, her voice low and careful. I knew she'd seen everything. Grace was the only one in Chloe's family who ever treated me like a person, not just an accessory to her sister's perfect life. So, instead of the polite lie I was preparing, I gave her the truth. Bad night, she tried to soften it, to give me an out. I looked her dead in the eye and said something I didn't even know I was thinking, no. The last one. Grace's face shifted then, a flicker of something that might have been relief or maybe guilt. She nodded slowly, squeezed my arm, and disappeared back into the crowd. I was left with a distinct feeling I'd just crossed an invisible line. The party dragged on for another hour. Chloe didn't look at me once. I watched her laugh at Liam's jokes, saw her lean in when he whispered something. Her entire body language shifted when he was around, open and animated in a way she hadn't been with me in years. By the time we left, I'd made a decision, though I couldn't have told you exactly what it was yet. The drive home was silent. Chloe turned off the radio the second we got in the car, bottom left of screen, click full story.